You're right, Kelly. It was a little bit subdued, the celebration. I wasn't sure whether he kicked it or whether it was actually touched off the boot as he was working his way into the goal square. Nice deep entry again here by Gold Coast. These are tools are competing well inside forward 50. GWS aren't able to take intercept marks in this game. That's clearly a goal. Nice finish. I think it's just pure the work rate and fatigue that they're feeling, that celebrations are secondary at the moment.
Yeah, I think Joe Fonte would like his time again. He's a good young kid. But you just can't tap that willy-nilly. You've got to knock it through the goal if you're going to hit it somewhere, and that's Russian roulette otherwise.
And all of a sudden, it's a game-high margin. So 29 points. The Suns' way, they scored the first 27 points of the game. The first goal of the quarter comes a dozen minutes into the term. Is Ethan Reid having a step on a run, dragged off it. Tom Green wins it back. Sends it round to half forward, but Jeffrey
didn't hit the target there, but that's Tom Green's 8th clearance in their total of 13. So he's the only one getting his hand on the ball and unfortunately just not hitting the targets forward.
Chief possession getter for the Giants with 15. Suns down the wing. There's Humphrey, the goal kicker.
Well, Lynchy are also up to 8 score involvements.
To Flanders, to half forward, Reid again.
So Lynchy's been big on Noah Anderson, of course, in his start to the game.
Reid honours the lead of King. Aaliyah gets in the way. Ball spills down towards Ash, then Iden. Sweeping hand pass to O'Halloran. Hurry kick off the back flank. It'll work out. Bedford's got it and goes. Green lights immediately.
Look at this one.
The finisher through the middle of the ground with a couple of bounces. Sweeps a hand pass to Toby Green. Right down. What a tackle, Anderson. He's doing it all today.
Captain on captain. Excellent. Now the spoil from Kelly. Can they reload here off ground? He's got speed to burn. He throws it on the boot. It's a real wobbler. It almost got there. Made Collins work. And Collins now to Hewland. Can they catch the Giants snoozing? Launch from behind from Humphrey. O'Halloran. Flick back in by Riccardi. Head over the ball. Thomas sees it over.
Well, they're working hard to get some inside 50s. The Giants just making a couple of critical errors whilst inside forward 50. One kick should have gone a bit further towards the top of the square. Toby Green had liked his time again.
Stringer onto the ground
completely.
And Jake Stringer's just been activated. So he started as the sub in the Sydney derby going back a month or so ago. Came on and kicked 3 quick goals. Can he repeat his heroics here? Because they need a spark, they need something. Haven't seen too much of the tsunami this afternoon yet, but there's still a long way to go. Margin was 23 at quarter time. Currently sits at 29. Callahan trying everything desperately, but Collins is there to Noble. Run it closely. They gather and they give to Miller. Target was Hewland. Couldn't quite take it. Going back. Long. Iden and also Buckley. Hewland taken high. Free kick.
Oh, it's got to be 50. That's 3 warnings on stand.
Very generous.
Well, it is extremely generous.
Only kicked his first goal going back a couple of weeks ago. Hewland, he goes high. The launch was from King. Interesting handball from Kelly over his shoulder. Might come back to the bite them here. Rao and Anderson teaming up. Now Jeffrey squeezes it. It's a high ball. Reed's there. Ricochets the way of Ash. Tom Green sees it over.
How many warnings are you allowed from?
Normally stand, not the third one that comes with it. You might be disappointed as a player, but you've still got to be switched on to what you are. And if you're not switched on, you get penalised for that. And you should have been on that occasion.
Down it comes. Ralston to Riccardi to Kelly. Hempel broke it up. Callahan cleans it up. He's Ash. He's back to Tom Green and pokes the kick out to Ralston. Close to 4 goals, chasing the game, down by a game high margin. It opens up field now. Riccardi to Cadman.
Just the third kick for touch for Cadman after dominating last week.
Goes short to Fonte. Across the half-forward line, finds Ash. Now inside 50. Oh, not 15 to O'Halloran. Turns around, shoots anyway.
Wow. Seriously. I saw a lot of short kicks last night. Collingwood and St Kilda that were...
One was 5 metres.
It was paid. So the consistency with it, we understand, is not there in the game. And that was one there that should have been paid. That was clearly, look at this, outside 50, bang, that's paid.
Dare I say, Jared, maybe if they had the mowing strips.
Oh, that'd help. All diagonal mowers.
I think with the eye there, we could tell, though, that should have been paid.
Yeah, I agree.
So Riccardi outmarks Wicks. And he's looking for the launch of Jesse. And he gets sticky mitts, Jesse Hogan.
He's one of the great stories is Jesse Hogan having another terrific year. After all Australian last season.
38 goals so far coming into this one. Second in the Coleman, trailing Jeremy Cameron, who has 48.
He's jumped away, hasn't he, Jeremy Cameron?
So he's already kicked one this afternoon, lining up for his second. To try and eat into this margin before half-time. The superstar came forward for the Giants. Bang on.
Well, they needed something, the Giants. They've worked really hard. Can't question their work rate, but they have just let themselves down a few times with some skill errors and some decision-making under pressure. Senior players as much as young players, so it's all a team. But you need your big guns to step up when you're trailing. And whilst that's part of the story, taking the mark, going back and nailing him from here on this angle is no easy feat. And that one is an absolute ripper. Not an easy shot from that spot, Lynch. It used to dominate those your old days in Brisbane.
Nah, not at all, but it was really important one in the context of the game. So just if they can edge another goal closer at half-time, they'll go in with a bit of confidence after being smacked off the park for the most part of the first quarter.
Goal each in the turn. Back in the middle, Tom Green. Gave it to the ruckman, and Madden's held up. Nick Madden.
So Humphrey with a chance around the ball. Flanders has had some midfield minutes today as well. He's up to 10 disposals.
Yeah, this bloke's been a machine inside.
Just can get off and fend off, and then the kick finds Brown. Kicks to centre half forward, and there he is again, Hogan.
That'll be the green machine. Absolutely dominating clearances.
Up to 40 for the year. The kick from Hogan is wild. Out on the full.
Well, 9 in this game, Jared, but he's lifted his first 5 or 6 minutes weren't great. Neither were all the midfielders for GWS, but he's one who's tried to get them back and going in that facet of the game. Next best for GWS is 2 to Callaghan.
Rioli in front with the lead. Aaliyah, impressive. He goes again. It's all yellow and blue at ground level. Weller with the kick. Here's Ben Long. Can he steady? Can he straighten? He's kicked a goal in every game this season. But that one was touched. And we'll get the review.
Prize ball is touched off the boot, one behind. Please make sure it was touched up the ground.
Review underway here.
Yep. See the figure go back.
The desperate lunge of Ryan Angwin.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball is touched by the left hand of the GWS defender. Decision on scoreboard.
Angwin, one of the 3 inclusions at selection this week, along with Stringer and Toby Green, the skipper.
So I think that's overkill, to be honest, because there was 2 central umpires called the touch. I think if we heard the touch, I don't think we need to review that.
Himmelberg exits to Buckley. Weller trying to break it up, unsuccessful. And Buckley wants to move it hurriedly downfield. Skip of the target, Hewlett knocks it away from him. Toby first came back after missing last week with a glute injury. So closing in on a little milestone himself. He's 3 goals away from becoming the second giant of 400. After Jeremy Cameron did that in rapid time for his move to the gallery. Bedford continuing a fight on, and Willie Humphrey locks him up.
Jared, is it too much one way for Giants around stoppage? You've got your Broodies at 9 clearances, next best is 2, as we said. It's Callahan who finds himself around it. You go to the Gold Coast Suns and you've got Miller with 3, Rao with 4, Anderson with 5. Just how unpredictable they are on who that hit zone player is, where you've got Green either trying to win it directly or he works well, obviously reading the opposition's hit, but there's nothing underneath him that helps support around this area of the ground.
Well, they'd like to share the low, maybe with Kelly, but you can see there Bedford looks like he's been pushed up with a run with throw there on Anderson. Anderson's still dominating numbers-wise, well, at least he's had 7, but they're mainly handballs. Hasn't had a clearance yet.
So he's up 9, Tom Green, clearances at the moment. He's still 5 before half-time. Miller got it out, Rao knocks it forward. Madden, handball away to Kelly. On lefty, sends it down to half forward. Oh, McAndrew went very high. Up says keep rolling. Here's Hewland. Oh, took a moment to get rid of it. Hogan got him. Cadman collects. Goals. And the Giants are right back in it.
That's big from the Giants, Jared. That is big. That's a big win.
What about the bull v bull in the top padding?
Yeah.
Green v Rao. Have a look at it. Side by side. Then it's like, right, who's the king of the castle?
Good body position by Rao, wasn't it?
Rao.
Yeah.
But the kick got turned over.
A block.
And that was a massive tackle there coming up. Turnover there. Very smart, clever tap to Cadman.
You okay with this, Jared?
Yeah, it's 50-50 that one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay with it.
I think Hogan's got to be right to get under the drop zone of the ball. He didn't sort of
Well, that
do
was
anything
came
other
from
than that.
Stringer, though. That was really clever. Won't get too much credit for that, but that's the one that created the goal.
Jono, you spoke about the predictability of GWS with their clearance. You look at Tom Green, like he had 6 clearances in that first quarter that was -7 on metres. So, like, I think they're putting out opposition, putting pressure on him so he can't get out the front.
Which is really important as well. You look at how strong they are. Umpire contact against, a free kick against.
Giants with the last 2. Crucial 4 minutes coming up here.
No, I thought it was umpire contact, but it's actually the Ruckman v Ruckman free kick here.
No one on the mark.
Wits. King. Miller down. Weller tackled. Reed will take off after it. Miller desperate. Close in on interval at ENGIE Stadium. Hogan down there. Ralston. Brown.
Okay.
All alone there. Well, he was all alone for a moment before Rioli hustled and got there, and Toby Green couldn't take it.
Yeah, got perception though from Brown. It was he didn't quite get the kick low enough to get it through so we could mark it, Green, but his vision was really good.
Neither up with an effective touch. Hogan launches up over the top. He just sees ball, launches a ball. He's that type of player. Mac Andrews standing alongside him on the edge of the goal square. Ralston fired out by Thomas, Jones rather, and a miss by Thomas.
Flanders marks the kick out. Giants with the last couple. Just got it to Ewell and he's locked up immediately as O'Halloran holds it. Fascinating 2 and a bit minutes here before half-time. Suns have led as many as 29 earlier in the quarter.
Another goal here to the Giants. Really opens it up.
The Giants feeling like they're back in the game. Callahan, long kick in the Hogan direction, knocked away from him. Oh, Noble mowed down and Thomas takes him through the behind line.
And Jetta, amazingly, the Giants are +2 on clearances after being belted early. I mean, certainly the scoreboard impact's been huge for the Suns. They're 5-3 from stoppages, 1 goal 4 for the Giants.
But I think what they've done is that they've caught that leak. Really leaky goals in the first quarter from stoppage. And the young kid, Madden, he's not going to dominate Wits, obviously, but in this term, he's not dominating.
No, absolutely. And those centre clearances were the real damage, and those centre unpressured clearances out the front can hurt you.
Playing his third AFL game up against Wits in game 194. Closely hit hard by Toby Green. You always know you've been tackled when the Giants skipper wraps you up. They tangle again. Miller, Weller. Bananas it. Foot races on. Unkind bounce for the 4 players there. Reed keeps it and handballs nicely into space. Allows Humphrey to run onto it. And then he's looking for Ainsworth, who's kicked 2 of the more miraculous goals you've seen so far this afternoon. And he's a chance here. But Harry Himmelberg says, not on my watch.
Well, Harry got bustled out of one earlier, which cost him a goal, but geez, he's been good ever since that little mistake. His desperation here was A-grade and caused the stop.
Wits got it down to Flanders, trying to tumble it goalward. Lecalier and Reed fighting for it. The boundary line wins out. Suns kicked 4 goals in a blink of an eye to start the game. Giants got within 8 points. That was as close as they got since they first scored. And now margin sits at 15.
And a couple of spares behind this stoppage that looked dangerous.
Forward 50 stoppage for the Suns. Himmelberg inadvertently socks it away to Kelly. Will work out for the G-man. Himmelberg to Ralston. Along the boundary line. O'Halloran, spin move. Able to evade. Rao got a hand pass to Stringer and he's brought up boots. Now to Bedford. Further down the wing. Howe picks it off. Rioli back the other way. To Reed. To Anderson. Caught. Callahan. Good tackle. Said it was all okay and the Suns maintain possession. Rioli, clever check side, down to half forward. Reed, can't trap it. Ralston got it away to Jones and the Giants through the middle.
It's a thumping kick. It's a 1-on-1 at the top of the goal square. You will almost open the door. It's touched for a Toby to come through. But that thumping kick is the
That's right.
boot of Riccardi.
Yeah, sure.
And we've got another review.
Umpire score is touch one behind. Please check to see if it was touched at the top of the goal square.
Is this our third today?
Review underway. Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball's being touched by the right hand of the Gold Coast defender. Decision on scoreboards.
Best sponsorship in footy.
And the goal umpire says, yep, I called it.
14 points. Noble. 43 seconds to go in the turn. Wits hands to it, not to be. Angwin at the drop. Hand pass away to Kelly. Is there time for the Giants? Kicks into the hot spot, touched on the way through. Powell, critical touch. Stringer, get off me, fend off. And the finish, the high bomb to the goal line. It's waxed through.
Gee, he did well to get it back that far.
Yeah, he's only had a couple of touches, but he's looking sharp as Jake Stringer. Who knows what the second half may bring. They've worked their way into it. I mean, it's been a really impressive performance away from home by the Suns, but this game looked over 20-minute mark of the first quarter, and we've got our game on our hands for sure.
As the seconds tick down to half-time. Looking to spoil it over the line here. Weller has other ideas. Flanders goes without it. And at half-time, there's 13 points in it. After the Gold Coast Suns kicked the first 4 goals of the game in the opening 7 minutes, they got out to a lead by as much as 29 points. But at the main break, it's the visitors, having never won at this ground before, 8-8-56 to the Giants, 6-7-43. And the Giants were able to kick the last 2 goals of that quarter. It's all set up. Gold Coast, of course, the Suns in their 15th season, yet to play finals. The Giants in their 14th season, they played finals 7 of their last 9 seasons. Let's get down to Alistair Lynch with arguably the best player on the ground up until half-time.
Thanks, Kel. Certainly is. Noah, you've had a great first half, but probably to be expected. The Giants come back hard in the last quarter there.
Yeah, obviously they're a good team and a proud club, so we know we're going to have to wear some punches today, but I thought we held up reasonably okay.
What about your start? You just blew out of the blocks, especially centre clearance dominance was right up there.
Yeah, no, we knew it was something that was going to be really important today, obviously. With one of their strengths being their really good midfield, so worked on it through the week and it was nice to have a good start, but we know we've got a long way to go.
How do you think that midfield contest is going in the balance of the first half?
I reckon we probably laid the first punch, but then they were able to probably get on top of us a little bit at stages. But I understand it's not going to be a full game where we're dominating them, so we've got to hold up a little bit, but I still thought we could have been a little bit more consistent.
All right, so thanks, Tom. Go on break.
Thanks.
So Expansion Cup number 20 is 7th v 8th on the ladder. The most significant game of their short history. Back with more at half-time right after this.
All right, folks, there we go. Half-time here at ENGIE Stadium up there in Canberra. And, of course, it's the Gold Coast Suns leading the way, 8-8-56. The Giants, 6-7-43. Tell you what, it's a bit of a shock to see the Gold Coast Suns came out firing in the opening term. Giants starting to come back. Gold Coast, well, took a little bit of control again. But then it's the Giants on the march back, getting that tsunami back, as they call it, with the Giants. Tell you what, we're in for a fascinating game. I'll be quite surprised, well, if the Suns hang on. They don't win away often, and they haven't won up there at ENGIE Stadium for a long, long time. So, look, this is a fantastic game to watch. Really enjoying the tussle between the two sides. It looks like a beautiful day there. Sun shining. What more can you ask for football? How you going, Dean? Big crowd? You know what? Doesn't look like a big crowd from what I'm seeing, but... I suppose you get that when they play the Gold Coast Suns. If they play one of the more popular teams, I think they do a little bit more travelling down to Canberra, but that's all right. Hey, it's a fantastic game. Flashes Transport, how you doing? Adrian, what's going on? Adrian, go Pies, and Sue SK, how you doing? Welcome into the live chat. Tell you what, the poll says the Giants 75% will win. Everyone in the chat thinks the Giants will come back for victory here. We'll be back with the commentators not too far away. Let's go and have a little bit of a look, actually. What I'll do is I will bring the ladder up in a moment. Actually, let me just bring the ladder up so we can see where these two teams sit on the ladder. Of course, Gold Coast and the Giants, 7th and 8th on the ladder, both sitting on 32 points. Gold Coast still with a game in hand, but the Suns... they do have a better percentage by 16%. We turn the live ladder on, and the Gold Coast Suns will jump up in the 5th spot if they can hang on and win today. But if not, if the Giants win, they'll certainly jump up into 7th position. So that is the ladder. Let's go and have a look at the goal scorers in the game so far. And, of course, we've got multiple goal scorers from the GWS Giants, and of course that's Jake Riccardi and Jesse Hogan, both with 2 apiece. Aaron Cadman, Callum Brown with singles. Of course, for the Gold Coast Suns, we've got Ben Ainsworth, the only multiple goal scorer there with 2 goals. Dan Rioli, Tuke Miller, Ben Long, Ben King, Bailey Humphrey, Noah Anderson are the other single goal scorers there for the Gold Coast Suns. Let's have a look at the ball magnets out on the ground today. Of course, Touk Miller, there we go, the only one in the 20s. I tell you what, that's a mammoth, massive first half opening term for him. 23 possessions, on target to break 40, which is no mean feat, that is for sure. 8 kicks, 15 handballs, 2 marks, 3 tackles, 3 clearances and a goal. You don't have much better opening half than that, folks. Noah Anderson next best for the Suns on 19 with 1-on-1. That's 1 goal, 1 behind. Tom Green and Lockie Ash leading the way for the Giants, both on 18. Let's roll on down. Jake Riccardi there, as I said, the multiple goal scorer there for the Giants. 2 goals, 1 off his 13 possessions, 10 kicks he's had. All right, let's keep going down. Johnny Noble there for the Suns, 12 possessions with Dan Rioli. Not too bad from Dan Rioli. 12 up until half time, 8 kicks, 4 handballs and a goal, so that's fantastic. All right, we'll continue with this a little bit in just a minute. Let's head back down to the commentators, and I'll give a little bit of analysis on the opening half.
Noah Anderson got them going. His ability to come away from stoppage with free running forward got them the first goal over the back too long, got them the second goal when he came past. He was awesome in the first quarter and slipped back to very good in the second quarter.
Let's have a look at the coach's box. So the green, the red, you're sitting up there, Dermot. You're assessing it from a Gold Coast point of view. What do you like?
First of all, you look at the green in the right-hand column. For the match, we're 4 goals up, plus 23 points. Inside 50s, we're plus 13. That came back to even in the second quarter. Let's move into the quarter that's just been, and it was their points from clearance. They're behind from clearance now, and it also just under that highlighted middle column, minus 11 for contested possessions, which we'll talk about in a second. But they lost their dominance around the stoppage, the Suns. They ran so hard forward of stoppage in that first quarter. I just wonder whether they might have had a couple who might have just momentarily blown up and not been able to go at quite the same speed for quite the same amount of time in that second quarter.
Well, it was like the Giants in the first quarter were white collar. They turned to blue collar. They rolled the sleeves up. They got to work, and their contest game came through.
Well, the 3 we mentioned before the game in the first quarter, Humphreys came to the party with contested possession. Rowell and Anderson helped them with that plus 14. Then in the second quarter, I reckon the coach got on, and King has got to them and said, hey, these blokes are doing a number on you. This is an insult to how you play your football. Don't let them get away with it. You have to be, and you can still go out there and bash your way into winning the footy, because that's what I need to see. They turned it around. They turned it back on them. Plus 11 for that quarter for contested possession.
Let's head to Alistair Lynch. He had a brief chat with the man, Noah Anderson. Lynch, he's had a dominant first half.
Oh, absolutely. He has put on a clinic from the very start, and those centre clearances, as Dern was touching on before, but 19 disposals in the first half. He's had 9 score involvements, and so he's getting it done inside and out. He's been able to rebound off defensive 50. He's got 1 goal, 1 himself, and he put it on a dominant display. I think no doubt the Giants are going to have to sit on him in the second half if they're going to get back into this game. But this is what he's really done. So in tight, he's managed to get the ball out with 4 clearances. So he's done that well and gets into these defensive chains that start to move the ball forward, and the Suns have been really skillful at getting on the scoreboard here. There was another example. But also, his defensive work has been good. He only had the 2 tackles, but his transition running to defend has been first class, and whether it's intercept there or the chase. Now, have a look where he starts here at centre half back. And this is a pivotal moment halfway through that quarter. He needs to get here to clamp Toby Green. A goal there would have been an absolute nail into the coffin of the Gold Coast Suns going into half-time. They would have been really disappointed with that one. But he's done a great job, and will have a massive say in this result in the second half.
He's had a massive say for the Gold Coast Suns. For the Giants, so Tom Green, 9 clearances in a half of football, done it.
As Jared Healy was pointing out, they needed somebody to win the footy at the stoppage. Green got 18 possessions, 13 of them contested. Doesn't take ground, but he's got Finn Callahan on the other side, on the outside, and he's given them 360 metres.
Yep. Well, it's the Suns by 13 points at half-time. Top 8 spot up for grabs there at ENGIE Stadium. Up next, we'll have David Z with all the latest news, including the bump from Ben King on Lockie Whitfield.
All right, let's get back to some of these stats, folks, of your player stats. There we go. Harry Himmelberg, just the 9 touches, 5 kicks, 4 handballs, 1 clearance. Ben Ainsworth, as I said, on 10 disposals. There we go. Let's roll on down a little bit more. Jared Witts, the big man there for the Gold Coast Suns. He's just had the 7 touches. Be nice to see him get a little bit more of the ball. 2 kicks, 5 handballs. He's had a mark. He's had 3 tackles, 23 hitouts, 1 clearance. Has he? Jesse Hogan, well, he started to come into that game in the second quarter, just the 7 touches, 4 kicks, but he has kicked 2 goals, folks. He's kicking accurate today. Well, he did miss all the goals at one stage, but when he scores, he's scoring accurate today. So that's fantastic news there. Tine, the famous in-the-house Shouty, welcome back in. There we go. 4 kicks, 3 handballs, 4 marks, 2 goals, Jesse Hogan. Toby Green, well, a little bit quieter he is today. I'd like to see him do a little bit more. Come on, Toby, just the 7 touches, 6 kicks, a handball. Look, he's laid 7 tackles, so that's not too bad. He's putting the pressure on, and we like to see that happening. All right, Lockie Whitfield, they were going to give us a bit of news about him. Not sure what happened there, just the 4 disposals. Maybe he's injured, 4 kicks for him. Nicholas Madden there. I wonder if that's the son of one of the big Madden boys. 4 touches, 4 handballs, 21 hitouts there for the Giants. There we go. Jake the package stringer. Oh, there we go. He's only had the 2 touches. Want to see him fire up and set the crowd alight. Although it's only a small crowd. Should be interesting. Just the 1 kick, 1 handball for Jake Stringer. Let's have a look at the team stats now. And, of course, it's just the 16 plus 2, the Suns. Pretty tight game. There we go. Plus 9 kicks, plus 7 handballs. Inside 50s. The Suns have restricted the Giants to 24 inside 50s. So well done to the Gold Coast Suns there. 13 scoring shots, though, for the inside 24. Look, they're pretty efficient going inside forward 50. And, of course, 6 goals. 1 in every 4 times they go in, they kick a goal, so that's fantastic. 38 inside 50s for the Gold Coast Suns. They're doing a good job there for their 16 scoring shots, so they're getting plenty of opportunity. Just like to see their kicking straighten up a little bit with the 8-8. Like to see them get on the more positive side on the goal line. More goals than points, as we like to see. Disposal efficiency, both teams down a little bit today, 71-69. They could lift that up a bit, but have a look at the free kicks. Have a look at the free kicks, folks. The Giants aren't getting much of it today, just the 6 free kicks. The Gold Coast Suns, well, they're a little bit cleaner in the way they are tackling to just allow the Giants 6. 14, though, to the Suns. 6-14, hometown crowd won't appreciate that. They're plus 8 in the free kick count. There we go. The hitouts, it's the Suns plus 2. Clearances, the Giants plus 2, but the centre clearances, the Suns doing the damage there. Plus 4 out of the centre. Stoppage clearances around the ground. 16-10, the Giants on top there. Plus 6. Contested possessions, well, it's reasonably contested game today. We like to see that, 75-77, uncontested. No one's really controlling the ball with the uncontested. The chip and mark, 114, 121. Turnovers are pretty similar, 39-35. And as you can see with the uncontested, the marks are going to be similar as well, folks. 35 Giants, 31 to the Suns. Marks inside 50. Only the 2 to the Giants. Jesse Hogan needs to get on his bike. Look, the ball just needs to be delivered a little bit cleaner down there to him. That's why only the 2. Normally they're at 11. Pretty much the same as the Gold Coast Suns, 11 marks inside their forward 50. But the Suns and the Giants, 2 and 4, the marks inside 50 for both teams. Contested marks, Giants slightly stronger in the air, 5-2. Let's have a look and see with the pressures coming on. And, of course, the Giants, well, they're putting the pressure on. Look at this. This is great news for them. Lifted their intensity, 48 tackles so far up until halftime. With only a season average of 59, so that's certainly lifted, and the coach will certainly be happy with the way they're going about that. Gold Coast Suns 33, season average, not too bad. Look, both teams are tackling inside 50, okay. 8-5, we like to see that. We like forward pressure on. Try and keep that ball inside their forward 50 and give their smalls a little bit of a chance to get the score on the board. There we go. There we go. We're only 5 minutes away to the bounce of the ball for the second half. Look, it should be a fantastic second half, folks. It's going to be interesting to see whether the Giants can come back with that tsunami, get the run going, and can they open their forward line up a little bit more, give their keys down forward a better chance on goal, or can the Gold Coast Suns do something they haven't done for a long time? And of course, that's win at ENGIE Stadium. On the road. Look, the Gold Coast Suns, they always seem to struggle a little bit on the road. They're so hard to beat at home up at People's First Stadium. But the Gold Coast Suns doing a fine job so far up until half time. I think Damien Haag would be quite happy at the moment. He'll probably he'll probably say to his players, look, we've just got to keep doing the basics, keep doing what we're doing, and we'll see if it falls into place for us by the end of the game. All right, folks, we'll be back in just a moment with the second half.
The AFL's newcomers going at it, and GWS have lauded it over the Suns in recent times. They've won 13 of the last 14, but not today. So far, the Suns did lead this game by as many as 29. The Giants kicking the last 2 goals, and all of a sudden it's game on. Jared Healy and Brad Johnson at the half. Suns by 13.
Well, it's game on, that's for sure. The Giants are able to at least close the gap on the scoreboard. They still need to close the gap in some areas, especially with their ball use, that last disposal, which has let them down in the first half of football, whether by hand or by foot. They've had opportunities that they've let slip, so if they can clean that up at the start of this quarter, start with that same determination they finished with in the half, then they'll find themselves right back on level pegging.
Here it is, locking midfield out with concussion, as we've been discussing. They need a lift from their skipper, Toby Green. He's the superstar of the competition from the Giants. Just a couple of possessions that term. He's been tackling like a machine, but for them to get back into this game, they need goals. They need him and Jake Stringer and Jesse Hogan to get on the scoreboard. He's had just 7 possessions, Toby, so he's got some upside.
Oh, the upside is in the possession of the scoreboard impact. Defensively, you can't question what he's done today, Jared. We understand that with his 7 tackles, but we see the upside in what he can do if this midfield can get on top and provide more accurate ball going inside forward 50.
So the home team has not led at any stage this afternoon. The Suns got out by as much as 29 points as we turn into the second half. It's a 13-point ball game. Wicks smacks it down. And they leave it for Jones to pick up. Bedford gives it back. Kick comes to half forward from Lockie Ash.
With the battle, they've got this one right so far. Collins has got control of Cadman. 5 goals last week, just hasn't really had an impact so far.
Launch from close, he was a little bit ambitious, and the big ruck, Madden takes off after it.
Clever.
O'Halloran. Stolen in the end by Miller, though. Closey. Noble squeezes it. They've got the numbers here. Humphrey goes inside and long marks.
Gee, that was a clever kick. He had 2 options. That one on the outside of the boot, which sets up Long. Very clever player.
It's a clever kick underground, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
From John Noble. That was special to be able to continue the flow of play for Gold Coast, because they were goal side of their direct opponents.
26 goals last year in his 17 games. He's got 25 to his name to date so far. That one is offline, a misfire from Ben Long.
Well, they got away with one there, the Giants. A bad turnover on centre wing, which had their defence unsettled. But the inaccuracy has just allowed them to get themselves back in. He's got a target straight down the middle.
He's going wide though. Lockie Ash. Contest kick to the wing. And Collins picks it off.
I agree, Jared. That would have been the perfect setup play. First one off half time. Set one up to try and score.
Jeffrey to Anderson. It's been tremendous. The skipper of the Suns. First time since 2016 they've had a sole captain back in the Gary Ablett days.
Outside 5.
Sequence of co-captains, Lynch and May, Swallow and Witts, Witts and Miller.
Outside 5. Play yours.
Now Anderson leading outright.
Well read.
Out down to half forward and 9 and intercepts.
He's a good player, this bloke.
14-point lead for the Suns. They have sort of, as much as they've done a lot right, they've also kicked themselves out of a greater lead as Ash runs into danger, evades Long. Comes out broadcast side, finds Bedford.
Clever.
Wants to go and does. Trying to ignite the Giants. Strong Mark Green. Jared Healy said they needed more from him, and look at that pass.
That's the difference. You get the super players involved. He goes back and nails this. All of a sudden, they're in striking distance. A really clever move to come back inside from Bedford. Found the corridor, found Toby, and he found Jesse,
who was on the burst and takes the mark, and he's lining up for goal number 3.
And that's only the Giants' 4th forward 50 mark for the game.
So Hogan on the approach. Oh, it's off the side of the boot, and that is a complete shank. A couple of his kicks we've seen from Jesse today. Up the other end as well was wild.
He's been looking at the wrong ad. It's a shank.
That's on 5.
But an opportunity gone begging without question. And Lynch is right. They've been starved down there. They've only had under 30 inside 50s.
All up on the wing, Lockie Whitfield out of the game in the first half after a collision with Ben King. Nick Holman, sub for the Suns, unused. There's a block and it's going against Wits. What have we made of Nick Madden's day today?
I think he's fought back well. He had a really slow start, but he's fought back pretty well.
Osborne in New South Wales kicks inside the forward 50. Madden punched away by Collins.
He's been able to, he's engaging more, but his midfield have gone to work at his feet, which is the important thing. They were outworked early, close in by Gold Coast. They've been able to level things up.
Just to get back to those inside 50s, just to say how hard it's been for the Giants. They've only had 26. The visitors in the Eagles jumper have had 39.
First time in their new clash strip today. It hasn't been popular with our commentary team, it must be said, despite the...
Not the last time in this jumper.
I was about to say the polemic.
What do you think the reaction of West Coast will be? Imagine if it was black and white, the reaction we get.
I know there'd be one team that wouldn't be happy if that was the case.
They'd be changing it at half time if it was Collingwood.
I don't know how Trevor Nisbet ticked it off at the AFL.
Anderson locked up straight away by Stringer. Jeffrey and get it out for the Suns. Forward 50 for the Giants. Tom Green hands it to Bedford against the boundary line. Cadman in the contest and Collins. Oh, trying to clear it. Toby's there and he goes. You can't keep him out of it for long.
If in doubt, ask your skipper to lift, and Toby Green normally does. Toby Bedford got the ball inside forward 50, which was good. That was half a throw, but oh no. They are desperately looking for the line. Here's Bedford, gets it to the top of the square, and then we have a few blows. You're going to punch, you've got to get it through.
You do, but Toby Green's in the contest there, Jared. You can see him. When Bedford kicks it, he's leaving. So it's great work to the goal square. Gets himself in the right place. Goal. Well played. Good work. Excellent work rate, I should say, from Toby Green.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity. That had to go across the line. Not sure whether it was Collins or his teammate who miscued, but need to put some more chalk on.
So they shave the lead to 8 points. Madden has a crack at it. Bursting through Flanders. Anderson. Rao. Flanders. Hip and shoulder after he got the kick, so it's a free kick downfield.
You don't mind those ones, they're moot points because he was going to mark it anyway.
Ainsworth. 2 spectacular strikes for 2 majors in the first half. And Wits! Well, we just said how Madden gone in his third game up against the giant Jared Wits. And he was outmarked on that occasion.
It's a clever move either by Damien Hardwick or by Wits himself, just to take him forward. The best he's got is to neutralise this bloke, but in the goal square.
1 goal for so far this season, but surely he won't miss from here. For the quick reply, he slots it.
He's been a great leader for this group, Jono. He's been a magnificent statesman for the game up there when the Suns were struggling, and now he's doing it all when the Suns are in contention.
He's such a barometer for what they do and has a big play in their W's every single time. He just worked down here nicely, flow of the play, forearm in the back. Nice grab.
Yeah, he'll learn the lesson. Don't take the front spot.
He's a very good junior cricketer as well, represented New South Wales at underage level, played in the same team as Pat Cummins.
Did he?
The Australian skipper.
And Tippity wasn't the wicket keeper.
Behind the stump sledging.
14 points again. The lead for the Suns. Witt's back in the middle. Ruck share it down. He's Rao to his mate Anderson.
Good pressure.
Back in front of Rao. Can't trap it. Rioli.
Oh, that's great work from Bedford. He is just a multiple effort player. He started off trying to shepherd Noah Anderson, and then he finished up neutralising the tackle, and a bit stiff not to get a free kick.
He's made a difference since going in and assisting their comeback.
Witts gets it going forward. Reed underneath it. Spills it on the way down. Lekalia trying to hold him up. Got boot the ball across the half-forward line. Fiorini just says, come here, as the ball finally sits back up for him. Noble retreats. Collins Back inside 50. Shallow entry. Butterick flying. Ball spills down. Thomas. Hand pass inside 50. Rao trying to knock it free. Thomas goes and gets it. Away to Ralston. He can send the Giants down the wing. Collins in the pack with Cadman. Collins slipping. Cadman collects. Out in front of Jones. Paddles into his own advantage. Ran out of room.
It's almost the start of a tsunami type attack. But the big bloke, Madden, has got to... I mean, Mummy's got to get the message out. You cannot take the front spot because you're just going to get pushed out.
He's wearing Mummy's old number. A few more muscles on that body before he's got Mummy's physique.
It's much better, though. You've got to block from the side.
And now the Suns looking to build. Kick to Reed was a big ask because it was 2-on-1.
Just going back to that last stoppage, the Giants are going to get their game going a bit better. If Madden's going to block his right arm, you've got to cover the left. The drop to the left-hand side was 90% predictable, so they shouldn't be able to just get an easy takeaway. Got the same scenario here, is blocking the right, and that's a neutral ball. Start again.
So Ralston played his first game in nearly 2 years last week. 784 days since playing a full AFL game for Harry Ralston. Battled injury last year with the stress fractures in his back. O'Halloran tackled by Miller, going nowhere. So last year the Gold Coast Suns 7-5 at the same stage. There it is, the nearly a falcon. It's more of a bicep, I think.
Big body blow.
Big body blow, yes. Suns 7-5 same stage last year, and then they won just 4 of their last 11. This year they're 8-4. As Bedford tries to flick it on, ambitious.
No, that's rubbish. That was rubbish. He dead set got a handball on that. Yeah, I'm with you. 100%. Hand might have been quicker than the eye, but he looked like he fisted that one, Jono.
Braden Fiorini takes the free, pokes it up. Where's Ben King? Slapped down by Himmelberg to the advantage of O'Halloran. This is Thomas. Oh, he's gone. He paused. And close, he clattered into him.
Well, that is just a total lack of awareness, unfortunately. He doesn't know what's going on. Let's have a look at Bedford.
Let's have a look.
Was it Jared? You made the great call about Toby Green at half-time that he had to leave.
I think I might retract that one.
Yeah.
Apologies to the umpire.
I tried to stop that replay coming through for you, Jerry.
Madden palms it down towards Callahan.
JJ.
Looks him forward, he's Weller. Puts it back inside 50 for the Suns. Ben King got his hands around it.
He's just too tough to stop. When he picks up the flight and gets that drop zone absolutely spot on, King, then he's just too big to be able to defend. And he just pushes back nicely, release forward, and there's no way Buckley was going to be able to get a fist in on that one.
The Giants with the first goal of this third term. They got as close as they have been all day, within 8 points. A goal to Wits. And now Ben King, he goals too. And the Suns keep the Giants at bay.
Well, there's Toby off the ground. He needs some more out of him. He started really well. The coach is having a chat to him. And the Suns have fought back really well here. Yeah, just got away from his man.
Well, what they've done in this quarter, Jerry, 21 kicks at 81% of their 34 disposals. So they're coming out, they're kicking it, getting it forward, but with effect as well.
It's a great mark, Jono. Up against a quality opponent.
Actually kicked his first ever AFL goal here at this ground 6 years ago, Ben King. And last time he played here, round 19 last year, goalless. No Sam Taylor that day either. Buckley had the match up, but he's kicked a couple and he's keeping his side, the Gold Coast Suns, with their nose in front. Back up No real effect on the contest. Wow, the beast just tries to barge his way through. Flanders. Rioli. 2 on 1 on 1. Oh, Ainsworth did it beautifully. On Angwin, spins, turns, and delivers to Reed.
Oh, it's been a good few minutes from the Suns. They really have just lifted their game after the green goal. They have responded.
So Ethan Reed back in the side this week. He's part of those 3 big talls with Walter and Ben King, the future forward line for Damien Hardwick. 6 goals, 7 this year from his 8 games. Still early on in his career. A significant kick, but he can't land it.
There's a bit of your work as well, Jono. His approach is a bit skew with.
From a Gold Coast perspective.
There's the set shot scoring. So 3-6 the Suns. They've led all day. They could have been leading by a lot more. There's Himmelberg to Riccardi. Get the last 2 goals, Gold Coast, just to calm it down. To the Giants threatened, as they have done after quarter time, or really halfway through the opening quarter. There's Damien Hardwick, game number 550 today. 207 as a player, and now 343 as a coach. He's got that man up his sleeve still, Nick Holman in the second row, the unused tactical sub. Riccardi trying to get rid of Reed. Still there, is taken high. It's not easy to do on the 2-metre Ethan Reed. Incredibly runs a 5.56 2K, which is just lightning.
It's going well.
It's going very well.
Reed looked to go corridor instead. He honours the long lead of Ben King. Good spoil from Buckley from behind. And now the Giants are away. This is Thomas on his left. Hogan got a hand to it at ground level. Picks it up. Tries to give the handball. It was a bit too hot for Stringer. Rioli so composed, all the experience in the world, tumbles the ball to Weller, over the top for Jeffrey, had to get rid of an opponent and he does. Anderson, slapped down. Suns have got the numbers, but it's Himmelberg that's able to gather, give to Angwin, Stringer, expect the unexpected, it'll land in that left forward pocket, Cadman went for it, cleaning it up is Harvey Thomas.
Well, their ground ball players are really persisting, Jono. Bedford, the kid with the lid, he's getting involved. And then Harvey. Wasn't the most pure of kicks. There's the release.
It's a captain contest that allows this one to continue on. Jared just has to fight through, makes the contest, and it's built perfectly. They've had 2 in this quarter that have just built in the right direction. But you count that through work rate as well, get into the right spots to be able to capitalise if it does.
Yeah, there's the contest you talked about. Cameron bringing it to ground 2 on 1. There you go, Harvey pops it up.
Youngest man on the ground, Harvey Thomas at 19. Phil Davis's old number on his back. Game back on again. 15 points. 2 goals each in this quarter. Wicks hooks it down behind. Anderson is going to get a free. Harry Rouston just hanging on. And it means Anderson can drive it forward again for Gold Coast. At the back of the pack. Aaliyah tackle. Play on it momentarily from Fonte, and he's caught 2.
You can hear in the background the call for high on Aaliyah on that occasion. Looked like a stray arm went over the shoulder.
Oh, you can't.
Wicks got it. Oh, was able to be moved out of the way. And Jared thought maybe a legal lead, but umpire says keep rolling. Here's Rioli. Coughs it up. Stringer. The sub on for Whitfield to a 2-on-1. Cadman with a bit to do. The numbers went out. Collins to Hewland. Easily brushes aside the would-be tackler, heads down to half forward and turns it over. And Angwin picks it off The G-Men.
Like to change direction here. GWS on turnover, where they can create some speed off this. Well done by Gold Coast to hold them up.
Yeah, got a little short up to the middle.
Ooh, had to be a big contest and was.
Jones had a little bit of help from Himmelberg coming through. Fonte over the top. They've got some runners. So Thomas, O'Halloran, Riccardi, really making Hogan have to work from that. Had to come from the side. Ralston with the tackle on Rao.
There's a lot of work out of O'Halloran. He was back flank to forward flank, down the bottom, locking the ball in.
So Harry Ralston, they were pumped for him last week, back in the side, as I mentioned, from missing for a couple of years. 18 disposals, 6 tackles in the big win over Brisbane. From the small town of Binya in the New South Wales Riverina. He's been an academy member since he was a 12-year-old, and when he went to primary school in Binya, there was 13 in the entire primary school.
How many?
13. Now all eyes are on Ralston as he launches it. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's touched right on the line for Harry.
Good defence there on the Suns. Got the tools down on the bottom of the line.
Noble looking towards the big man. Winston and Reid both down there. Reid as it hits the deck to Fiorini. And pass wide to Closey against the boundary line. Take it out. Good tackle. O'Halloran.
He's going well, O'Halloran. He's been given a bit more midfield time. He's starting on a wing a bit today as well, but he's really improving as a player.
That's where they look vastly different. In this third quarter, got a bit of extra speed. So Thomas is at the 6 disposals. O'Halloran, Bedford all amongst the ball.
Rao through traffic, extracts it, the 1-2 with Wentz, and now to Miller. Through the middle of the ground, Jeffrey, got to move it. Hurried kick inside 50. Bouncing ball, Reid. Taps it to the advantage of Ainsworth. Took a moment, Angwin got him. Now Rao. Over the top of it again, Pack forms, and the ump calls for it.
Do you reckon that the umps have given a little bit more time today, Jono, with prior opportunities?
Yes, definitely. There's been a couple that
good.
have gone the 360 and haven't been called.
Forward 50 stoppage for the Suns, taking 7 goals to the left of screen in the opening term. 2 goals each in the quarter so far. Tom Green, another clearance. Up towards the wing. Race on out the back. Noble gets the Sunday hop. Hand pass away to Collins, to Closey. Closey in front of the benches.
And they can launch again here. No, it's all Giants. Callahan. Maybe it's the tsunami that can go. The captain flicks it out wide. Angwin. Got the runner in Kelly.
Himmelberg just really charging, not on it.
Goes on that left and he goes longer instead. Probably not the best option. As the Suns now can share it around.
You're right, Jared, but Brown worked up, so took the space of Himmelberg. So Kelly couldn't go there in the end, which has to go long, 2v1, and now the turnover has happened. See if Gold Coast can build this up.
Powell to Fiorini. Oh, that's risky for Rioli. And so there's a 50-metre penalty, and it's coming back to Fiorini. It was against Darcy Jones.
The last 50-metre penalty resulted in a goal, of course. It was Mac Andrew running forward after his teammate told him to play on.
Told him it was play on.
Trying to convince the umpire, and Mac Andrew thought it was actually the umpire.
So the set-shot record again, Corbett.
3-6.
Can Braden Fiorini help straighten them out? Sends it on its way, and that is now 3-7 for the Suns. Searching for their first ever win at ENGIE Stadium today. Trying to remain in the 8.
Kelly marks the kick out, so winner will be in the 8 tonight. And the loser will have to wait and see what happens with the Bulldogs up against the Tigers. Last game of round 15. His Brown spin move gets his way around Yuland.
That's excellent football.
Finds Toby. He can look up front. And Tom Green hangs on to it inside the attacking arc. He's been the clearance green machine today, Jared.
Oh, the green machine's gone on fire, but the Tsunami with a capital T was on display on that occasion. It was really well constructed from the kick in. Buckley's mark was super important, and that spin on a dime unleashed the ravages of what's to come. Great work from the entirety of the Suns team there. Sorry, the Giants team.
13 clearances today. Big heavy numbers already, and there's still a quarter and a bit to play. And now they need his work in front of the sticks. The drop punt from Tom Green. Can he bring it back? No.
Well, when you're trying to bridge the gap, Jono, it's hard when you miss set shots that are in the zone.
Yeah, big opportunity lost there for the Giants. Now it comes down to how well they defend late in the third quarter. Fatigue for both teams. That's a good kick.
Angwin's dropped an absolute sitter, and they might make him pay here. The handball from Ainsworth to Walter. Looks up, sees what's on offer, goes to King in a one-on-one. Oh, brilliant by Aaliyah. Man in front.
That'll be his finest moment as a player, Kel. Really strong mark in front.
Took one down in Geelong a few years ago, didn't he? Which was a massive, massive grab. But that's right up there with some of his best efforts in his career so far.
It will boost the confidence levels as well. Still making way in this competition early in his career as the Suns look to reload again. Anderson to Rao. Into the pocket he goes, and this time Lydon.
Couple of one-on-one victories there for the Giants. Sets them up for one final crack.
And they continue to repel the Suns.
Got one up the middle.
Ash, he drew a couple. Ainsworth might make him pay here. Humphrey with the step around, doesn't want to go for it. Fiorini missed the set shot. What's he like with the snap? He's got a teammate in the goal square. King to Miller. And they continue to have the answers for the Giants' questions.
Just poor turnover, Jared. Oh, Ash took the second bounce. Had to release by foot after his first bounce. And just get it out, even to the one-on-one over the back, Toby Green. But opted for the option for the second bounce, closed up nicely. And then Gold Coast cleaned this up quite easily. King in the goal square. There, couldn't get back.
It's a free kick there, well played by the Suns on the rebound. They've had two real clangers, Angwin's mark on the wing.
Yes.
And then that one from Lockie Ash, unlike him.
Yeah, that's a good call with the missed mark by Angwin, because that was simple. And it was going to create a nice turnover for the Giants in their forward half. He was clear, dropped an absolute sitter, and it just built pressure on his defence.
There is Lockie Ash. They've been close enough, if good enough, all day, the Giants. And so far the answer has been they haven't been. 20 points the deficit, approaching three-quarter time. The Suns want a bit more. Anderson to Humphrey. Hand pass out towards Closey. Caught. Got his arms free. Ainsworth, who's been good, goes back to Humphrey. Inside the attacking arc. Iden comes over the top, can't kill it. King keeps it alive to Butterick, and O'Halloran forces it through.
Let's just take a look at this. We've discussed this left hand. Now, he's covered the right. He's got Anderson just there on the left. I mean, that is just basic stuff for an AFL team. You can't have a two-on-one and the big man, the senior man, using his strength, and you get a simple clearance like that.
Issue for Harry Himmelberg here.
That was after the result of the tackle when he came in hard on the tackle centre wing. It just looks like he's wrenched the knee, or maybe it was a corky somewhere, but he came flying in at a rate of knots.
Margin 21.
Let's have a look at this tackle.
Oh, yeah. Pick up Lynchy.
Probably a corky Lynchy, do you think?
You'd be hoping that's all it is.
Yeah.
So the Giants, and they claw their way back in these final couple of minutes. Big spoil up over the top by Andrew. Kick was smothered. Ball to be won. Well done by Humphrey. Just swatted it away and over the line. Suns by 23 it was at quarter time, 13 at half time. They've led this by as much as 29. Giants yet to get their nose in front at all this afternoon.
I think we got our answer. Looks like it was bone on bone.
Yeah.
Nice knock to the middle of the medial ligament side of the knee.
Wits to Rao on all fours. Tom Green just wrenched it clear. Brute strength. Quick to O'Halloran. Was it a push in the back from Butterick? Umpire didn't blow his whistle. Flanders flares it. No one's there. Oh, that was interesting by Himmelberg. He's testing out the knee.
He's testing out the deliberate out of bounds rule.
And he's got it. I think he thought he probably on that knee couldn't get there quick enough to get their hands to it. And he's been pegged. Final minute before three-quarter time. So much at stake for these two sides as Rioli goes long. Touch ball over the top. How does it bounce? O'Halloran flicks it through.
They read the
Yes, I was just going to say, he looked like he was outside the 9
Yes.
when he's punched this through.
So not under significant pressure.
Yep, so it was tight, but I think he was a step outside the goal line.
He's stiff. He is dead set stiff.
So Connor Butterick has got the ball and he's only ever kicked one goal in his career. The only goal came in his third game, round 3, 2020 against the Crows. This is the biggest kick of his life. And he couldn't stand up under the intense pressure and snare it.
Let's take another look at this. He's always going to bounce high. And he was right on the edge of the square and knocked it through us. I think most players would have done instinctively, Jono. So I feel for him to a large degree. And I think the footy gods interrupted.
All don't lie. His second kick of the day for Butterick. Different role for him up front today. We've obviously seen him midfielder as a junior and playing down back most of his AFL career. Here's Rowell. Got it out to Noble. They've got to try and beat the clock. The seconds will tick down and that'll do us through three quarters. So the Gold Coast Suns by 22 points as we turn for home. They have led all day. The closest the Giants have been is within 8 points. They've got a bit to do on their home patch. The winner remains inside the 8 at the end of round 15. David Zeta is going to join us next with some breaking news as the Sunday ticket rolls on. A quarter to come.
All right, there we go. It is three-quarter time here, folks, at ENGIE Stadium. And, of course, it is the Gold Coast Suns by 22 points, 11-13-79. The Giants, 8-9-57. The Giants could only put on 2 goals, 2 in that third term. The Suns, a little bit better quarter. 3 goals, 5. A little bit wayward kicking. I tell you what, this margin could have extended out a little bit. But, well, the Gold Coast Suns have left the door open a little bit for the Giants to come back. Although, that being said, the Gold Coast Suns seem to be just controlling this game at their leisure. When the Giants seem to come back, the Gold Coast kick on. But there we go. It was pretty much goal for goal in that third term. And I think we are absolutely in for a ring-a-ding-ding-ding final quarter here, folks. Don't forget, folks, straight after this, we've got the next game coming up, which is about to start in 1 minute time, but we'll be covering that from about the second quarter on. That's the Western Bulldogs taking on the Richmond Tigers at Marvel Stadium. That should be a fantastic game as well. Expecting the Bulldogs to have a pretty sizable victory over there at Marvel Stadium. But I tell you what, stay tuned for this game. We got 1 quarter to come, and it's all going to kick off in about 3.5 minutes time. The Giants, can they come back? They certainly need to if they want to be in contention this year, or at least vie for a top 4 spot coming up later in the season. The Gold Coast Sun doing everything right out here today. They're doing what they need to do, and as if we put this live ladder back on, the Gold Coast Suns, they are up in the 5th spot. There we go. Only percentage separates the Adelaide Crows in 4th and the Gold Coast in 5th, and only 1 game behind Geelong. There we go. And of course, don't forget the Gold Coast Suns still have a game in hand to play from opening round when the Hurricanes cyclone hit up there in Queensland. So they've still got that game in hand with Essendon. That's why I say to these top teams, just be aware of the Gold Coast, especially if they can win a few games away from home. Could be quite damaging. Hey, let's just quickly check and see. Changing the goal scorers there, Jake Riccardi there for the Giants. He's multiple with Jesse Hogan with 2. Harvey Thomas with 1. Toby Green snuck in with 1. Aaron Cadman, Callum Brown with 1, of course, for the Gold Coast Suns. Tuke Miller, Ben King with a couple. Ben Ainsworth also with 2. Jared Witts, Rioli, Long, Humphrey, and Anderson with 1. Let's see the ball magnet quickly. Noah Anderson, 28. There we go. Tuke Miller had a little bit of a quiet third term. There we go. 28, 26. Lockie Ash, best for the Giants on 26. Tom Green, 24, also for the Giants. But we are just moments away. We're just moments away from the bounce of the ball to the final quarter. Hey, thanks everyone for dropping on in. Of course, Tino was in the chat before. Didn't see Ella Rose in there today. I'm sure we'll see them and Emmanuel later on. Hoping. There we go. But I tell you what, we are in for a fantastic final quarter. Really fascinating. I expected the Giants to make a little bit of a comeback, a run at this. Have they left it all for the final quarter? Could it come down to the final kick after the siren? Who knows? Can the Gold Coast continue what they're doing? I tell you what, they're doing it all right today, folks. They're doing it all right, and this is what good teams do. They do win on the road. So the Gold Coast Suns, they need to prove it to themselves, their fans, their coach, and everyone in the footy world that they are a real team. They are contenders, not pretenders. So we'll soon see in just a little moment time. It's a little bit the same with the Giants. Are they pretenders or are they contenders? Will they remain in the top 8? Don't forget, just looking at this ladder, the Giants lose this game. They are out of the top 8. That is the live ladder. They will be out of the top 8. The Giants here, because if the Bulldogs win, they'll go in, as the live ladder says. Of course, looking at the other one. In the other game, it's just started 2 minutes in. It's Western Bulldogs, 1 straight goal, 6. Richmond yet to score. But we'll keep everyone up to date with that before we head over onto that game next. So we'll head straight over to that game after this game. So it should be fantastic. But looking forward to the final quarter here at ENGIE Stadium. Whew, that's the Gold Coast Suns by 22. Let's head back down to the ground for the final quarter, where it's the Gold Coast Suns. Can they do it?
That's huge for Gold Coast, because this is their window with what they're doing in this midfield group, the growth of this midfield group, what they've done, especially him and Anderson, that combination, and Miller you throw into that as well. They're powerful.
So the club is saying it's just been reported, nothing confirmed at this stage. When they've got an update, they will let the media know.
Yeah, it was always going to be an interesting question. Eventually, if you said, what are you talking about? Which may not be the answer, but we will test him out. Because unless something superb happens by the Giants, they are looking like a good winner here for the Suns, but not over. We know the Giants can rack the goals up pretty quickly. Free kick count 8 to the Giants, 21 to the Suns, so they haven't got the best of the whistle. That may change, who knows, but they need to just sort it out from a clearance perspective and get on the front foot.
Can they hold on here, the Gold Coast Suns? As the records have tumbled this season under Damien Hardwick. It'll be a free kick going the way of the home side, and Toby Green takes it and straight away delivers to Cadman.
Well, that time the young ruckman Madden took out the left hand. And so the ball was tapped right in the middle and the Giants mopped it up.
Are you happy with the way rucks are going about it these days though, Jared, or is it just something we've got to accept that you just engage because they can?
Oh, I'm not sure about it's a longer chat, that one, Jono, but the line came in for not too much of a reason, I would have thought. Maybe one for Swanee.
So Aaron Cadman, coming off his breakout game of 5 goals at the Gabba, yet to produce a goal in his 50th game. Can he get them rolling?
Well, it's a darn good start, Cal. That is a great kick. He would have been a bit flat, having had a big breakout game last week. Hasn't really been involved there. So the left half has been utilised. Both tapped it out. In fact, you could have given that one to Matt. Let's see where he goes next time. But T3, break grass, stick him in the middle, gets a clearance, hits it on the chest of Cadman. That's a great mark. No one's stopping that.
Good space in front for Cadman to lead into. That's a good setup by
Glenn Jacobs in the goal in the Eagles shuffle wouldn't have stopped that.
He wouldn't have either.
Of course, they have turned around a bigger deficit at home this year. They were 28 down against the Tigers. Obviously, they're up against a team fighting for a spot in the 8 today, but it's a positive start for the Giants. Back to 16 points. Witts to Anderson. Turnover. Tom Green gets it out of the centre square. Cadman flying again. Spills it. Comes down to Toby. Hand pass coughs it up. Jeffrey. Collins got it out somehow to Anderson. Flanders back to Anderson. Not a heap up ahead. Full 360 for Hewland. And now kicks it there anyway. Contest kick, Fonte and Ainsworth. All trickles out of bounds and an awkward landing for Ben Ainsworth.
Yeah, the difference between a throw and a fumble is fairly minute. But Collins got away with one there.
He's kicked a couple today. Ainsworth already. Hopefully he can run that out. Good tackle, Weller. Make sure Bedford stops moving.
Glad he's back. Lockie Weller, fit, healthy. He's a good player.
2 ACLs and then 2 hamstrings this season. The last one was an 8-week hamstring. Fonte, a little bit too much on it for Cadman. Collins was there to mop it up. And now here's Noble, accepting it from Jeffrey. Wants to use the corridor and does. Flanders, that was 50, should have been. Short to Jeffrey. They can't retreat and go back into their shells. They've been so good all afternoon. Into the pocket they go. Leah over the top with another great spoil.
They've actually covered okay for Sam Taylor. I mean, no one's going to replace Sam Taylor, but they haven't been burnt in the air.
Yeah, it looked bad early, didn't it?
It did.
So you're right. The key defenders, Buckley, has done really well on Walter, who hasn't really touched it this afternoon. And
King's kicked a couple, but he was probably always going to get a couple.
Known to Sam Taylor when they played in round 19 last year, and they did get the win, and the questions asked, and Miller is penalised.
Didn't even argue that one, Miller. He just laughed it off. Oh, yeah.
Ash
Fair
goes
play.
back to Buckley.
Play on, mate, play on, play on.
Thought about the quick V kick and then thought better of it and brings it back to Callahan, who loves space. He runs and he dashes across half-back to a one-on-one there. Yeah, Cadman outmarked by Collins.
He's had 3 good moments, Big Sam.
Oh, daring kick, inboard, turnover. Toby picks it off.
No.
Looks inside 50. Oh, Mac went the soccer. Spills to Brown. Still a chance for the Giants. Bedford on the end of it. Snaps goal and he's got it. And the tenor of this game changes.
This kid has just run his heart out, Jono. Bedford, he's been up and back. He's started as a forward. He's gone into the middle. And he was on the end of that one. He has just been a dynamo. There's the intercept mark. Well played by Toby, who's lifted. And that was something you won't see Mad Mac do too many more times. Coach will have a bit of an education package on that one.
I think right across the board, Jared, the decision-making is going to be critical in this last quarter. And well, both clubs had their moments then, didn't they, with their decisions. And in the end, Gold Coast, they pay the price for the last decision that McAndrew made in not picking up the ball.
The magic number, Jono.
Well, here it is, over 160 points, 6 wins and 1 loss. So they need to get it over 160 to win these combined scores. GWS, and they're fighting back.
2 goals in 5 minutes. And it's the Suns that go forward. Spoil. Down to Thomas, overruns it. Here's Flanders. Fiorini on the left. He's really making it tough for Walter. Now, which way does it go? They look like they were both holding each other's jumper. Buckley gets the free. And the Giants fans breathe a sigh of relief.
Imagine all the calculators have just come out of...
Yeah,
Counts go
148.
148 is the number, yes.
Oh, and it was a risky kick. They've got the numbers and the brilliance of Ash. A fake, a deliver down the corridor. Tom Green gives it to Callahan. Had to get it. His long left boot away quickly. Stringer slaps it down. Well, that was brilliant by Reid initially, but it might come unstuck. Stringer, unselfish. Into the centre he goes. It bobbles around. It comes back. Ralston, here's Green. He does it. He fakes one. He fakes two. And he slides it home.
The clock.
Boatload of clearances, and now the Giants are as close as they've been since they first scored. Madden puts him inside 50. Out the back, Riccardi. Trying to get back on the way, Clever to Cadman. The G-men are in front.
Five. We're at the number.
And they hit the front for the very first time in this contest at the 8-minute mark of the final term. 4 goals in 8 minutes. Wicks. Little toe poke. Callahan. Kelly caught underneath. Wow. With strength. Roars through to Miller. Throws it on the boot. Makes life difficult for King.
What a ball won by Manny Rao, the man who is thinking about signing but hasn't signed yet.
He's recommitted to the commitment of potentially signing.
We'll have more with David Cedar later on in the evening.
4 goals in 8 minutes for the Giants. Another clearance for Tom Green. Up to the middle of the ground. Mac Andrew.
Clever. Oh, the slipperiness.
Rioli to Powell. Still puts him inside 50. And there's Reid. Takes the mark. Closer to goal. Looking for King. Critical fist from Hilberg. Down to Closey. Tackled. Held up. Trying to get rid of the ball. Up says keep going. Butterick. Hands it out. But Fonte in the back pocket. Tries to evade Flanders. Got it to Tom Green. Takes on the Butterick tackle. Himmelberg takes it out.
I think if the players stop reading that it should be holding the ball, and there's a big disconnection between the players and the way the game is being officiated at the moment.
I agree with that, Jono.
Closey and Himmelberg. Wrestling manoeuvres. And the boundary umpire in a hurry wants to throw it back in.
Yeah, there's definitely more time today based on what we've seen.
Last quarter, players are getting super serious.
That's lucky too. He elected to bump there long. Got to be careful, very careful in that scenario.
Got Ralston on the point of that left shoulder. Shoulder looks like it's hanging a little. Here goes long again. Gives it off to Fiorini, right side for the left footer. And they continue to hang around the Gold Coast Suns.
Well, that's just a great stoppage win and release out to the left footer, Fiorini, who has been in and out of the side to a degree over the last few years, but Here's a fumble. Under the tackle. Well, it's a tackle more than a fumble.
He's fine margins. And you decide to bump. They got it right there. They got the goal.
Yeah, it's a great release. Run and finish by Fiorini. What a huge game. There's so much riding on it for both the visitors, the Suns, and the Giants. We've got some injuries and some omissions, but they're hanging in there. Fought back from them and probably a losable spot in the first quarter.
Yeah, conceded the first 4 goals in the blink of an eye. GWS hit the front, and now they've fallen behind again. With only 2 lead changes in the game, the last 2 goals. Flanders to Fiorini, now to Anderson. What a weapon he is. Touched on the way through. Top of the goal square. Himmelberg low down, buttering the big tackle. As King tries to get it out. Long knocks it to Fonte, and buttering goes and gets him again.
Well, he's been pushed into the forward line. It's obviously a pressure player up there, and he's delivering the goods.
The Suns have had most of the answers today. Every challenge, every push from GWS. Can they answer one again? Knocked out of play. And a throw-in. So a forward 50 stoppage and a 4-point buffer for the Suns. Having led all day, fallen behind, now they're back in front.
Well, Tom Green has just been their best player from start to finish. Hasn't had a spell. He is just dominating around clearance. He's got 3 or 4 efforts left in him, hopefully for the Giants, because he's the man that has generated much of this attacking foray to get them back into it.
Yeah, he's had 6 touches in this last quarter alone.
Just lurching, stoppage to stoppage. Yes, Damien Hardwick's looking for an email about Matt Rowell signing. Do you think it is, Jared?
Oh, I think he's got other things on his mind at the moment.
He might, especially
that bloke in particular.
That man, Tom Green. McAndrew slips. Riccardi comes in, tackles. Stringer, play on advantage.
Oh no, that'll cut back.
Jones. So free kick to the Suns.
That's when the advantage wasn't an advantage.
Well, Tom Green, most clearances in a game prior to this one were 13, so 16, Jared, in this game. You're right, he has just been enormous.
It's a season high as well, where it stands at the moment.
Collins to the wing. Witts with the sit. Miller with the fend off. Now here's a chance. Anderson back to Miller. Hewlin spinning out of trouble beautifully. Bedford couldn't get him. Witts. Miller in space. Closey. Steps inboard. Asking for trouble. Wobbly kick. Got there eventually. Flanders marks.
That was just in front of me. That was all but smothered off the boot.
Nice work from you, Lynchy. But gee, I tell you what, the
Flanders has got someone on in the pocket.
oh, have another go.
Gotta cut back.
Oh, they're going to go berserk here. The locals, they're not happy at all.
Well,
The umpire's changed his mind here. I've never seen this. He's actually changed his mind, and he's going to ball it up.
Ball it up.
Good on your umpire. That is great umpiring. Obviously, one of his teammates has said it was touched.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got 4 out there. That's collectively great umpiring.
4-point advantage for the Suns. Tom Green denied clearance number 17. He's Fonte. He's held up.
And just to take the focus off the umpires for a minute, Ethan Reed's been subbed out. Tactical sub. Nick Holman in the game for the Suns.
It's good time for that.
Kelly got it to Fonte. Took on Weller. To Lekalia. A little fumble. Went to ground. He's Humphrey. And pass away to Witts. Jones looking to break it up. 3 of them hit the deck. Weller trying to draw a free, and the ump says, I'll have it.
Everybody is so desperate to not give the ball out, but they don't want to get caught holding the ball. You just saw there, Jared Witts did a great job.
Long time to go in this game. Witts kicks to half forward, and there's Thomas. The youngest man on the ground. Taps the pass to Ralston.
Gold Coast have got the spare long, at the end of this long kick, so they're avoiding going long.
Kelly. Now to the eastern side. Buckley puts him up over halfway. O'Halloran.
Oh, he had him.
He's told to keep it moving. Kicks inside the attacking arc. Brown flies for it. McAndrew trying to clear. Can't. Stringer! Stringer!
Only Stringer.
It had to be him.
Well, it started off looking like it was going to be a dud in the West, and it's turned into a classic. Who knows who's going to win it, but Jake Stringer's just got himself involved in a cracking, magnificent goal. That's a controversial one that was turned over. It was touched by Josh Kelly. Nearly dislocated 3 fingers, as Lynchy said. It was put down as a smother. But out the back.
The fumble, which ended up working out in his favour in some ways. But at least he did well. He worked up behind the contest. Support from behind. Falls his way. Had to be accurate and was. Not much daylight.
A lot of goals put their hands up to the gods, and they're just average goals. That one was to honour the footy gods.
Warning here to the Suns. Flick behind. Wicks. Ralston had it, lost it, stolen. Anderson just handballs into space. Flanders is there. He could wedge it over to Miller, but instead he goes further still and Humphrey marks.
Well, it was a good clearance by the Suns. They didn't have first possession, but they stripped it of the young player for the Giants, and now they get set up.
They made the most of Witts in that centre bounce.
So Humphrey lining up for his second goal. He's mercurial. We know that. Does he deliver with some sublime skills here on the right boot? Across the face.
No, so what they had, the mismatch, Jared, of Witts v Riccardi at centre bounce. So Witts just put his big frame in front.
Himmelberg out on the run. Lead has swung on the last 3 goals. The only 3 lead changes of the game.
And that's the sin of the modern game, getting the ball intercepted off the kick out.
Will Powell drives it deep, back inside 50. Lekalia flies, punches it away. Still alive footy inside the Suns 50. Callahan sockers it once, twice. Can't clear it past Hewland, who bangs it back inside 50. Is there a mark there for the Suns? Not on this occasion. Himmelberg to Angwin. Comes out of defence. And that'll work to Hogan.
Great work coming up from Jesse Hogan. Angle's kick was just a kick and hope. And he got lucky.
Off he goes to Callahan. Has a bounce. Looking for Cadman, asking a lot. And the youngster stands up in his 50th game and says, yep, I'm the man.
That is 50 metres just about too. Mueller just ran directly through the mark. Jake Stringer was on the other side of the mark. So he wasn't trying to fool him or anything. He just ran straight through it. But anyway, it was Angwin's kick that got distance, Jared. I think that's the important thing with the quick kick out of defence and how he got more distance than what you normally would in that scenario.
So 5 last week. He's kicked 3 today in his milestone match. Family up from Bacchus Marsh. Can he squeeze it back to 4?
He should have been kicking from on the goal line. And it's a big miss.
Yeah, it's a big miss. I didn't see the run through the line, Jono, but I'll take your word for it. You've been all over it all year.
What a final term it's been. 5 goals to 1. The Giants' way from 22 down at the last change. Suns out trying to win it back. Rao to Flanders to Fiorini. Winner is in the 8 at the end of the weekend. Kicks down the wing. Humphrey paddles it in front of himself. Shakes the defender. Gives it to Flanders. Here they go to Gold Coast to Rao. Rao caught. Harvey Thomas with a chase down tackle of his life.
The babyface assassin off to Ash. He's got dash and dare. And then delivers Angwin.
Move it on, play on.
Little indecisive, first game of the season. Stakes are high. He goes down towards Brown. It was a good option. Callum Brown strong in the air. Another 50.
Oh,
Again, it was the stand.
yeah, the umpire's communicating. It's going to be 30 out. Another option, 30 out.
And Cal Brown is an accurate set shot. 13-5 he's kicked so far this year in goals. To extend their lead to 8 points. They trailed by as much as 29. A month ago here, the Giants were down by 28, beat the Tigers by 3. Is it going to be a case of deja vu? Brown lining up for his second. He's a beautiful kick. He sends it on its way, and the Giants have erupted with a fast finish in the final term.
It's been amazing, Jono, the comeback to three-quarter time. They were in with the half, but now they've hit the front. They've just been more efficient inside their forward 50. I mean, the Suns have had plenty of opportunities going inside their forward 50. They've just taken their moments. And this is a moment coming up. There's a big mark on the wing, and then he gets the 50-metre penalty, which doesn't make it a certainty, but there's your big moment, nailing the goal under the pump.
Well, when you look at it, Jared, from what you're talking about, so Gold Coast have had 9 inside 50s for 1 goal won. GWS 8 inside 50s this quarter for 6 goals won.
Phenomenal final turn, right when they needed it.
Plenty of time left for Gold Coast here. Can they respond?
It goes back to those guns, the young leaders in the middle, and here's one of them.
Round, hand pass out in front of Miller. Gets a handball on. No down, big tackle, Angwin. Ball comes out, Rouse onto it. Can he send them inside 50? He goes laterally. Closey traps it on his knees. Retreats back to Newland. Now the inside 50 kick. He drives it deep. Is there a mark for the Suns? Punched away by Buckley. Close to the boundary line, and Thomas helped out by Weller.
That pressure from the Giants is impacting. They've got 4 goals won from their turnover. And a lot of them has come off that half back line. It's been a really big, strong, mature response by the Giants. And let's see what the Suns can muster in this last 7 minutes.
The only 3 lead changes in the game, all in his final term. Weeds grabs it out of the ruck, floats a kick to the goal square. Takes a bounce left. O'Halloran to Brown. Gets it out of the defensive arc. Up to halfway. Hogan, not quite. Andrew goes down. Jones stays up. Bursts away with it. Kicks inside 50 for the Giants. Riccardi caught at the back. Falls down to Tony. Bursts away. Tumbles a kick goalward. Bouncing. It's there. They will never surrender. Like the song says, fight until the end. The Giants by 14.
He's an amazing player, but this was a big ball.
This one here, Jared, that's what I love. The work rate of Jones to get over and support that contest first. That sets this up.
Well, that's not bad for Riccardi. He wants the handball back. He's on the inside. He had a man in between him and the goal, so it's never a gimme, but only one man can control the bounce of the Sharon like that up in the west of Sydney. And this was a moment of genius. So we'll see 2, one from Jake Stringer and one from Toby Green. He enjoyed that.
Celebrate the goal, but get over to Jones. If he doesn't get over there first to support that contest, then this does not work out for GWS.
7 disposals for Toby Green at half-time, and you said, Jared, he needed to lift. Well, he's kicked 2, and look at that. There's a slim margin here. The Giants are in the 8. The Suns are currently out of the 8, but they've still got time. Can they lift? Ainsworth gives it over, and a chance for Humphrey. He's imperial. Oh, Bailey Humphrey. They're hanging on by their fingernails.
This is huge, Jared.
That's a classic game. Everybody is lifting, and Bailey Humphrey has just kicked one of the goals of his career.
It was enormous on the left. from about 40. What a snap from Bailey Humphrey, but it's in the middle of the ground again. The hold there to Rao goes quickly, deep inside forward 50. They got this right at ground level. This time they win the fight at ground level. First in by Ben Ainsworth. Good feed.
And Bailey Humphrey pushed his man into the contest. Have a look. There's the push. In goes Himmelberg. Himmelberg go out of the contest. Bailey in the contest on the left foot. Cracking goal.
It was Builder's game of the round. Jeans lived up to that billing. From 29 points down, the Giants leading by 14. Now that lead trimmed to 8. Anderson gets it going forward. Humphrey looking for the stoppage, and everyone's pretty happy about that. Just a tick under 6 minutes on the game clock.
Could well come down to Rao v Green at the moment. Rao's been involved. Green's been involved.
Two-score game. Anderson trying to make his way through with strength. Hand pass to Holman. The fresh legs to Humphrey. Can he be the game winner? Turns and looks goalward. High up and under. A leer underneath it. Not quite on the intercept. McAndrew thrown forward.
Yep.
And caught. Oh, the umpire says holding the ball.
If I tried to explain what holding the ball is with this as a game, you'd be very confused, as an example, I should say.
It's hard to read, absolutely, Jared. But this defence for GWS has stood up well. They're minus 24 for forward 50 entries. They've weathered a storm down there all day.
Ash, Hogan, couldn't impact the contest. Madden, Bedford. Here's a chance. Callahan. It'll be a bouncing ball. Stringer's lurking. Going to ground was Hewlin. Stringer, the impossible angle. Oh, Stringer! He gets you out of any sticky situation.
Oh, perfect song, isn't it? That rolls over the stadium for Jake Stringer, because he has been exactly that. Dynamite in this last quarter. 2 big goals from the big recruit, getting back towards goal. The fluorescent boots on fire.
They've handled him well. They sent him back to get fed and fit, get those hammies, able to cope with the stress. This is fresh Jake Stringer, off a couple of weeks sojourn. Even when he was fit, he gave him the extra. And he has nailed 2 of the best goals that we've seen on Giant Stadium.
One from each pocket.
Two from Stringer. Tom Green's double puppy was brilliant.
Yeah.
What Stringer's done in this last quarter, there's not many players that actually do that. Those goals have been first class.
Proper match winner as Wicks pumps it down and Humphrey held up.
Yeah, they haven't probably got enough out of the dominance of Wicks at their centre clearance. I mean, it's a man against a boy on the mission, because he's only a part-timer.
Winner in the 8, loser most likely on the outside looking in at the end of round 15. Giants with the bye to come. The Suns have had theirs and they've got the game in hand against the Bombers. Now they're trying to pull it out of the fire, one which they once led by 29. Anderson to do more of it himself. Miscues, the kick, it'll work out. King.
Once again, though, Rao will let the roll through. And you've got the lead if you're in the orange shirt. Got a comfortable lead, and you're letting Rao go free from the clearance.
This is massive, this kick here for King.
He moves in. He misses.
Skinny.
Got territory, though. Let's see how they can hold the ball in, or whether they can hold it in the Suns. So they've been shattered mentally at the present time, Lynchy, given that they've given up such a huge lead. To come back again takes enormous strength of mind.
Oh, it'd be absolutely huge to come back again. And certainly Ben King, he's got his demons at this ground, so that was a tough kick for him.
Ash goes long. Iden, double grabber. Paid. Happy to go back to Callahan.
This is Callahan's 9th for the quarter. And that's 260 metres he's got under the belt now for the 4th turn.
Back to Iden. Toby just eat into that clock a little bit, and that was a little wayward. And instead of possession, it's going to be a 50-50 ball.
He's busted his gut this last quarter too, Miller. He is really working hard. Anderson also getting plenty of it. All been handballers, so they haven't been doing any damage with kicks.
Gold Coast Open winner, 7-goal opening term. Giants have finished with a flurry with an 8-goal final term. And there's still 3 thrilling minutes left in this one.
They've actually only had 30 kicks in this term to 45 handballs, the Suns.
Wicks, Humphrey, clean pickup by Toby Green and runs straight into Rao. It's like a strongman competition. Wicks out wide for Anderson. To Miller, it skittles past him. Ash, a tumbler, a wobbler. Which way will it bounce? It'll be a free kick to the Suns if it goes out, but it doesn't, and Toby Green, fierce.
Yeah, dived on it, so that was going to be paid.
Weller in his 150th, giving away the free.
Yeah, so it was there, definitely. Toby Green knew it. That's why he was so aggressive in the secondary effort to get back on top of Weller and hold it up.
What's Toby thinking? Just bang it as long as possible. Wits, great mark. Great coverage of the ground, and now the Suns will go.
3-score game, they got it all to do. The Suns, Jeffrey take it high.
So Witts had to come back skinny side, so he was looking and desperately trying to find a teammate that was going to burst through the corridor after that excellent defensive mark.
Anderson told to keep it moving. Down to half forward. King moved out of the way. Andrews onto it. Collects. Handball to Weller. Trying to break the Lekalia tackle. Steps through it. Looks inside 50. Can they get a mark? Punched away at the back. Butterick. A chance. With Callahan close by. Paddles it inboard. And in the end, Fonte moves it out of play.
Brilliant play by Fonte. It was just a little pick and roll to get the boundary throw in. Giants never won a game when they've been down by 20 or more inside 50s. At the moment, they're down by 24, so they've been starved at one end and defending really well at the other, which is often their case for them.
The Suns trying to avoid another what might have been result. Bedford handball towards Miller, trying to fight his way through. You can throw a blanket over a dozen players around this, and in the end, the ump says, I'll have it. We're down to 92 seconds on the game clock.
That last 15 seconds epitomised Bedford's attack on the ball. He had it, he lost it. He was up like Indian rubber, man, and straight back into it and neutralised a brilliant play.
An 8-goal final term from the Giants, with their place in the 8th threatened. And Ainsworth isn't going anywhere in a hurry. And they'll be hard-pressed trying to move it outside these massive bodies. The Suns desperately need a goal.
The odds are against them. They need to do something quickly. Wicks gets the kick away. Anderson's there. The man for the moment. The skipper. Odds against them, but it's not over just yet.
It's going to be pretty tough with 2 scores, maybe a miss and a goal gets in the draw, Jono.
A deliberate 7-point play.
Deliberate 7-pointer, but they have had a number of dominant entrances or exits out of the centre clearance, so can't write off completely, even though the numbers look pretty horrible.
So they have to get Riccardi out of centre bounce. They can't.
Yeah.
They can't send Riccardi to centre bounce here. That's a mistake if they do.
Well, they shouldn't even be worrying about clearing it themselves. Just stop it.
No, Madden's back on now. He's made his way onto the ground.
Man on man to the centre bounce, which will suit the Giants.
Yeah, because what they'll try and do, Anderson will try and burst through. So it's good here by Madden. He's not engaging as early as what he has been.
7-point game. Madden wins the hit out. They all run forward. Brown collects. High up and under out to half forward. Bouncing footy in front of Weller. Gives it to Hewland. Hewland heads inside 50. Andrew arriving late. Doesn't get there. Falls down in front of King. Time ticks away. Down to 50 seconds. Miller. Kick smothered. Ricochets back inboard. Rioli tracking it. Madden got it out to Kelly. And now to Stringer. The man with the late bail. Kicks a barrel. Up inside the forward 50. Catman huts out after it. It'll roll out of play.
Jeez, he launched that.
And the upset's thrown in. And the Suns can't believe it as Anderson is appealing for the deliberate. And it's not to be.
Fair enough too. Since when has that never been deliberate? That rule change has got up to New South Wales, hasn't it?
Damien Hardwick can't believe it.
Goodness.
His slide so gutsy, so brave this afternoon. They've never won at this stadium. They couldn't tick off this record this year, but they've ticked off so many records. Desperate to avoid a second half fade out like they have in previous seasons.
Geez, the Giants go into the bye, feeling so good now.
After the win over Brisbane last week, might be still time. Bedford, who's battled his heart out. Rao, Closey. Flying in there was Himmelberg. Toby Green. Quiet opening half. Reeked of leadership in the second half. Aaliyah, Fonte, and it was an absolute showstopper at the Sydney Showgrounds. Giants come from the clouds again. They're in the 8. The Suns slip out for now.
But overall, it's the Giants that prevail. They go into the bye with a big W, get the break now. Hopefully, Lockie Whitfield will recover from that head knock out of the game early with concussion.
It's only been 16 three-quarter time cutbacks all season. The Giants are responsible now for 3 of them. Alistair Lynch out on the field.
Ace Coleman down here with a couple of very happy Giants that they've been celebrating with their teammates. Firstly, Jakey Stringer, good to get back in, but that's a great win, an important win for the club.
Yeah, I mean, been biding my time there training around Olympic Park. It's pretty lonely, but just great to be able to get out there and contribute.
Absolutely. What about the 2 goals late, mates? You don't do anything by halves. They were pretty good snaps.
Just lucky to get a couple through today.
And how frustrating has it been on the sidelines for yourself with the hamstring and the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, I had a really good pre-season and really good building. Just a few unlucky things, and but you know, I put the hard work in over the last 6 weeks to make sure when my opportunity came, I was going to be ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely ready for it, I'm sure. Toby would have been wrapped with the impact that Jakey was able to make late in the game, especially.
Yeah, huge. I mean, been doing it for a long time, and as he said, he's put in a lot of work over the last 6 months, really. Just a few unlucky things, and this is exactly why we got him here, you know, to impact in big moments, and he'll just get better the last 10 weeks.
That was one of the great wins, wasn't it? I mean, to come back, you were 5 goals down, and it looked like you had no run in the game, and they were up and going, especially in that first quarter and a half.
Yeah, the first quarter, first 40 minutes, really disappointing. I put 50, 60 points on us. So that was, yeah, a bit disappointing, and they're a good team, though. Their contest was really strong. They, you know, beat us all across the ground, and then, yeah, just grinded it back slowly but surely. It's a bloody good win.
What was the message from Adam at half-time?
Well, I had to win contest, take ground, and then put pressure on in the front half, try and play in our half of the game. We felt dangerous ahead of the ball. We just needed to make sure we got it there, and eventually, yeah, it sort of They didn't crack, but we were able to take our moments and win.
You're getting a few stars back through the midfield, back-to-back huge games from Finn Callahan.
Yeah, his power running's amazing, and his ability to take ground and take the opposition on just breaks lines.
Well, congratulations on really one of the club's really important wins at this stage of the year and your performance. Well done, mate.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
It was an absolute season shaper, wasn't it? A huge result. And Greater Western Sydney remain the greater expansion team.
At the moment, that's spot on. And Damien Harwood would be he'd be there sitting there in disbelief. Total disbelief. He's dominated territory by 24 inside 50, 68 to 44. Contests, they won by 134 to 155. So there was lots of things they did right. Clearances 42 to 37. I mean, on the stat sheet, I know they win, but they just couldn't get it done in their front half. And you have to go a long way to see a better contest from clearance pool between Rowell with 12 clearances and Tom Green with 16.
They missed opportunities early to separate the game in that first quarter. You know, a couple of very, very easy missed shots at goal, which could have actually put this game to bed. GWS are never out of it, I understand that, but the gap would have been great, too great, I think, for Gold Coast to come back away from home. So for GWS to come back from at home. So it's an opportunity lost for Gold Coast here.
8 goals to 3 in the final quarter from 22 down to win by 7. Alistair Lynch.
Thanks. We're just chatting here with Finn. Good crowd and great support for the club here today.
Yeah, no, I thought the crowd was unreal, real loud, especially Gold Coast Giants game. Not usually the biggest crowds, but I really feel like they turned up today and really got us over the line in the last quarter. So it was great to see.
Well, it's a huge comeback because the first 5 or 10 minutes, you know, without being disrespectful, you look sound asleep.
Yeah, no, we didn't rock up really, which is fair to say. King is, at this point, it took quarter time for King us to give a bit of a serve to, that we finally turned up. But we'll rectify that next week. But I thought the ability to fight after quarter time was unreal. And we got the game back on our terms. And when we play our footy, really hard to stop, and that was shown today.
Does he go a bit old school at quarter time, give you a bit of a cook?
Yeah, well, he did. I think we really needed it, especially around the ball. As you said, that first 5 to 10 minutes, they just smashed us. And in finals, if we make it, that's not going to get it done. So we need to be better than that and heal us now.
And you're all in your own game. You look like you're playing your best footy of your career. And coming back from injury the last couple of weeks, you're running you feel as physically as fit as you've ever been.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really disappointing to miss 3 or 4 weeks, but gave me the ability to freshen up, and I trained really hard over that period. And my legs feel really good. Everyone's pretty sore this time of year, and I've missed a month of footy, so I am fresh and feel like I'm covering the ground really well. And just trying to help us win games, which is good.
You got some fair players in that forward line. Do you just smile when Jakey Stringer does what he does?
Hey, that was unbelievable. That's why I go into the club for big moments like that in the last quarter, and had 2 pretty good goals, or 3 he might have kicked. So it's pretty special to have him. Toby, Jesse, Cads come along, Brownie, sorry to swear, but there's heaps of them down there, so it's pretty good to play with.
No, we've both done that on air. Don't worry about it. Well done. Congratulations, great win.
Sorry.
All right, folks, there we go. Well, it was the Giants. The tsunami came, and it was the Giants 16-10, 106. Gold Coast, they just couldn't do the 4 quarters, 14, 15, 99. Tell you what, that's what happens when you don't kick accurate. And the Giants did that. 26 shots, scoring shots to the Giants, 29 scoring shots to the Suns. There we go. Wow, the Giants, of course, in that final term. Whew. 8 goals won. Absolutely fantastic. 3 goals 2 to the Gold Coast Suns. To tell you what, Jake the package stringer, didn't he bring the Giants alight? He kick-started it all with a little bit of magic. Paul, how you going, Squire? The Dogs 47, Tigers 9. We're going to head over to that game in just a moment. But before we do that, I just want to wrap up the goal scorers and stats for everyone. Aaron Cadman topped the table with 3. For the Giants, so there we go. Jake Stringer, Riccardi, Jesse Hogan, Toby Green, Callum Brown, all with 2. Wow, there was a lot of multiples there. And of course, Harvey Thomas, Tom Green, singles, and Tom Bedford. For the Suns, Tuke Miller, Ben King, Humphrey, Noah Anderson, Ben Ainsworth were multiples, all with 2. For the Suns, of course, Jared Witts, Rioli, Ben Long, Fiorini, ended up with one. The ball magnets out there, have a look at Noah Anderson. Wow-wee, 42 disposals for the game. What a game he had. 13 kicks, 29 handballs, 3 marks, 2 tackles, 7 clearances, 2 goals, 1. Tell you what, wow-wee. Tuke Miller also, 37 with 2 goals. Sensational. Matt Rowell, 34. Lockie Ash was the best for the Giants with 33, 30 for Tom Green. They were your players over 30. Let me just roll down some of the stats just in case you want to have a little bit of a sneak peek. Or, of course, anyone watching the replay want to have a look at the stats. They will see those. Let me quickly go down there because we want to get across to the next one. My tips have not improved in Supercoach. You're 20,000 out of 30,000. That's, I tell you what, you're 10,000 ahead of some others, so that's not too bad. Even though the Giants getting up on the day where the Gold Coast Suns controlled 3/4 of the match, the Gold Coast had plus 54 in disposals. Inside 50s, though, big number for the Gold Coast, 68. The Giants 44, plus 24 inside 50s, yet the Giants got the job done. Even with the free kicks, 15 to 24, it was plus 9 to the Suns. It's just surprising. The numbers all go to the Suns, yet the Giants got the job done. Just using the ball efficiently, kicking straight. It certainly does help. Plus 20 in the hitouts to the Suns. There we go. Plus 5 in clearances, plus 9 in centre clearances. Stoppage clearances, the Giants took that out. Plus 4. Contested, pretty similar. Uncontested, but it was about 30. What's that? 36 or so, somewhere like that. Maybe my arithmetic. Yeah, no, that's right. Plus 36 uncontested to the Suns. Oh, plus 26, plus 29. Oh, someone help me out with an arithmetic. Contested to the Suns. Pretty much, there we go. Inside 50 marks, 11 to the Suns, 6 to the Giants. The marks will plus 21 for the Giants, but I tell you what, there we go. The tackles, Giants brought the pressure, 88 tackles in the game. That's big numbers. 64, not too bad for the Suns. Tackles inside 50 was fantastic, 14, 22 apiece. So good pressure by both, but I tell you what, just looking at the ladder there, that has updated, I think now. That has updated, and of course, with the Gold Coast Suns dropping that game, they drop out of the 8. They're in 9th position now. That's where they'll stay. GWS go to 7th, a game clear of the Dogs and the Gold Coast Suns now. And, of course, Addy G, your Freo sitting 6th on the ladder. There we go. Percentage still a little bit low for Freo, Hawthorn and the Giants. That could come back to bite them later on, but we will see. That's the scoreline for today, folks, up at ENGIE Stadium, where the Giants, well, we did think this could happen. We were just waiting for that tsunami to hit, and hit it did, and it hit hard in that final term, where they ended up kicking 8 goals, 1 in that final term. And it's pretty hard to stop, even though the Suns kicked 3 goals. You would have thought that could have been enough. But, yeah, the Giants were just too good on the day. Hey, thanks, everyone, for coming on in for the coverage today. Thanks, Paul, Ryan, Addy G, good stuff, Tina, and everyone else who popped on in here today. Of course, Tina, Isabella, well done. But that's all I got for this one, everyone. We did have the poll, and I'm pretty sure the folks in the live chat, 71% went for the Giants. Well done, everyone. 29% went for Gold Coast. Even though, so everyone in the chat was expecting the big comeback, and the big comeback happened. There we go. So all good stuff. Ciao for now. That's it. Ciao for now, everyone. Hey, if you want to join in with the Western Bulldogs Richmond coverage, we'll be live again in about 4 minutes time, because I've just got to set that one up, and then I'll be live, and we can listen in to that game. Paul, should be a fantastic one. I know we're all cheering for the Tigers for Ryan, but let's just see if they can, well, get somewhere close. Even though at the moment it's 47-5, 47 the Dogs, 139 the Tigers. Don't look at the scoreboard, Ryan. Just look at how they play. That's what we're looking for the Tigers this year, Ram. All right, folks. Hey, that's it. We'll see you over on the next game. So ciao for now. We'll see you at the next game. The Bulldogs and the Tigers.